Today, we're exposing the truth about the ice cream sitting in your freezer right now. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you will never pick up that tub the same way again. Here's the part nobody tells you. A huge number of the ice creams stacked in British supermarket freezers aren't legally allowed to call themselves ice cream at all. Flip the tub over. If it says frozen dessert instead of dairy ice cream, you've already been caught out, because that wording is a confession. It means the cream and the fresh milk you're picturing have been quietly swapped for reconstituted skimmed milk powder, water, glucose syrup, and cheap vegetable fat, coconut oil, palm kernel oil. Same fats they use to drive costs down, dressed up to look like a treat. And it gets worse. Back in 2018, Which tested supermarket vanilla and found tubs that contain no fresh cream, no fresh milk, and no actual vanilla. The vanilla, just flavorings. You've been spooning it out for your family for years, thinking it was a little bit of luxury. It was oil and skimmed milk powder with a flavor packet stirred in. And that oil isn't harmless either. Palm oil and palm kernel oil are loaded with saturated fat, and the global rush to produce them cheaply has flattened rainforest across the planet. So the treat in your freezer can carry a double cost, not great for your heart, and tied to deforestation halfway around the world. Also, a manufacturer can shave a few pence off a tub. You're paying for the privilege of being the one who didn't read the label. But the frozen dessert con is only half the story. Here's the real kicker. Pick up a cheap tub and a premium tub of the same size. Cheap one feels light, doesn't it? That's not your imagination. That's air. The industry calls it overrun, and it's the quietest profit machine in the freezer aisle. Budget tubs get pumped so full of air, they're roughly half air by volume. A liter of proper ice cream weighs around 850 grams. A liter of the cheap stuff? Around 550. You are paying ice cream prices for a tub that's a third air. You're buying a balloon with a flavor, and then there's shrinkflation. Same tub, same shelf, same price, except a liter quietly became 900 milliliters, then 800. You're betting you remember the price but never check the size. And for millions of us, that bet has paid off for years. So I've gone through the freezers of every major UK supermarket, and I'm going to show you the 9 ice creams you need to put straight back on the shelf. Then I'll tell you the ones actually worth your money, and they're often cheaper than the famous names. But before we start, if you think people deserve to know what they're really feeding their families, hit that like button and the bell. When videos like this get pushed, these companies are forced to pay attention. Every share is a message that we're done being fooled. Right, let's get into it. Number 9. The big brand soft scoop, that family tub that's lived in British freezers for generations. Your nan had it, and you grew up on it. Here is what's printed in the small print. Reconstituted skimmed milk, glucose syrup, coconut fat, whey, a whole row of stabilizers, an emulsifier, and flavorings. Notice what's missing? Fresh cream, fresh milk, real vanilla. The frozen dessert wearing an ice cream costume now owned by a giant spun out of Unilever whose entire job is squeezing profit out of your nostalgia. You're not buying tradition. You're buying a memory with a flavor packet. Number 8, supermarket own brand soft scoop. The bargain vanilla in the plain tub. Tempting, right? This is the one which, caught red-handed, own label vanilla with no cream, no fresh milk, and no vanilla in it whatsoever. It's glucose syrup, vegetable fat, and air frozen into a block and sold to you as pudding. Cheap, yes. But cheap isn't good value when half the tub is oxygen. Number 7, the luxury Belgian chocolate-style tub, the one with the gold lid and the fancy font that makes you feel like you're treating yourself. Read the ingredients. If vegetable fat sits above cream on that list, the only thing luxury about it is the price. They've spent the money on the lid. Not on what's inside it. You're paying premium for packaging. Number 6, value vanilla, the giant 2-liter brick for a couple of quid. This is overrun, pushed to its absolute limit. They've whipped in as much air as the law allows because every bubble of air is ice cream they didn't have to make. Leave it out and it melts into a sad little puddle a third the size of the tub. You didn't buy 2 liters of ice cream. You bought roughly a liter of ice cream and a liter of air, and you paid for both. Number 5, chalk ices and vanilla bars. Lunchbox classic. That chocolate shell, often not chocolate at all. It's chocolate-flavored coating, which is code for vegetable fat, sugar, and cocoa powder, because real chocolate costs more. The center is frozen dessert, so you've got fake chocolate wrapped around fake ice cream, sold in a multi-pack, and marketed as a treat for your kids. Number 4. The wafer cones, the ones that promise a proper Italian gelato moment in your own kitchen. Cones fine, it's everything inside that's the problem. Vegetable fat, glucose fructose syrup, and enough sugar that a single one can swallow a serious chunk of an adult's recommended daily limit before you've eaten anything else all day. It isn't a slice of Italy, it's sugar and oil in a clever wrapper. Number 3. Light and low-fat tubs. This is the cleverest trick of the lot. How do you take the fat out and keep it feeling creamy? You whip in even more air and reach for sweeteners. So percent less fat can quietly mean more air, more additives, less actual food. You think you're being good to yourself. You're being sold a tub of mostly nothing with a health halo on the front. Number 2. Kids' fruit lollies and ice pops. Marketed with cartoon fruit in phrases like made with real fruit juice. Flip it over. Water, sugar, glucose fructose syrup, colors, flavorings. The fruit is often a tiny percentage hiding right at the bottom of the list. You're freezing sugar water, drawing a strawberry on it, and cashing in on your child's pester power. And number 1, the novelty premium pots. The ones with the trendy branding, the chunky bits, the limited edition, everything. Here's the trick. They take the same base, change the bits they fold in, slap on different packaging in a different price, and sell you the illusion of choice. Dozens of variants. Most of them taste broadly the same because underneath the branding, they basically are the same. You're not buying flavor, you're buying marketing, frozen solid. So after 9 tubs you should leave on the shelf, you're probably wondering if there's any honest ice cream left in this country. Good news, there is. And you don't need to spend more. You just need to stop paying for air and oil. Here's the one rule that cuts through all of it. Flip the tub. If the first 2 ingredients are milk and cream and the words dairy ice cream are on the front, you're holding the real thing. If you see vegetable fat, palm oil, or glucose syrup near the top, put it back. Standout is Mackey's of Scotland. Their traditional tub is whole milk and whipping cream, over 80% of the tub between them, made on a family farm in Aberdeenshire on their own wind and solar power. The ingredient list is short enough to read in a single breath. No vegetable fat, no palm oil. They don't even add vanilla to the plain one because when it's actually made from cream, you don't need to fake the flavor. And it's in nearly every major supermarket: Tesco, Sainsbury's, Asda, Morrison's, Waitrose, Co-op, Iceland, usually sitting right next to a frozen dessert that costs about the same. If you want dairy-free, look for brands built on a cashew or coconut base with a short, recognizable ingredient list. The ones without the mystery IME numbers and the refined oils. They cost a little more, but you're paying for actual food, not air. And if you can stretch to it, a proper local dairy or farm shop tub will almost always beat the supermarket giants because a small maker can't afford to hide behind a marketing budget. Their reputation is the product, so the product has to be real. And whatever you buy, do the weight test. 2 tubs the same size. Pick the heavier one. Heavier means less air and more ice cream. Your hand can catch the scam, your eyes can't. Then leave it on the side for 10 minutes. Real dairy ice cream melts into smooth, creamy liquid. Frozen dessert tends to slump into a watery, slightly greasy mess because that's the vegetable oil separating out. The melt test never lies, even when the packaging does. The truth is simple. Better ice cream doesn't cost more. It costs smarter. The big brands have spent decades convincing you that their name means quality, that the gold lid means luxury, that the word creamy on the front means there's cream inside these. They were banking on you never turning the tub over. So turn it over. Stop paying premium prices for vegetable oil and air. Stop accepting shrinking tubs and disappearing cream from brands that stopped respecting you years ago. The honest stuff is sitting right there on the same shelf, and it's often cheaper. If this opened your eyes, hit like and especially the bell, because the more people who see this, the more pressure these companies feel to actually put the cream back in the ice cream. And drop a comment telling me what we should investigate next, because I'm not stopping. Until then, flip the tub, read the label, and protect your plate. Look instead for the things that calm and feed the scalp. Rosemary, light water-soluble conditioning, fragrance-free formulas. Because once the scalp settles down, everything else tends to follow. Practical way to do this: don't panic bin everything tonight. Flip your conditioner over and read the list. Spot DMDM Hydintoin, or a stack of cone silicones high up the ingredients? That's your cue to switch on your next shop. Only ever put conditioner on the lengths, never the roots. That one habit alone keeps buildup off your follicles. Give a new one a fair run, 6 to 8 weeks, because the hair you're shedding today was set in motion weeks ago. And if the shedding is heavy, sudden, or patchy, that's a GP conversation, not a conditioner one. That's the full picture now. Shampoo and conditioner both. If this saved your hair even a little stress, the best thing you can do is share it with the one person you know who's been quietly worried about their hairline. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell, because the next one breaks down the styling products doing the exact same damage. And that list might be the worst of all.